This is Kayla McCool. We met in Bible study, which Rachel does Bible study Monday through Thursday, and we met on there. And I was telling them how we chatted a couple days ago. We were on the phone for 6 hours.
I, I cannot believe it. That's absolutely insane. We were both very exhausted the next day.
Yeah, I definitely slept in. We're going to be talking about family trauma, healing, forgiveness, and setting boundaries.
Yes.
So, I know you said you wanted to kind of define what trauma is.
Well,
And
you gotta pray, girl, because woo!
oh, yeah, we need to pray. We need prayers right now. Take us to prayer, girl.
Lord, I thank you for this day. Lord, I thank you for this opportunity to share your word. God, I thank you for the revelation that you've given me. God, I pray that that these stories are a testament to your love and kindness and your gentleness and a testament to how good of a father you are to us. And Lord, be with us, give us guidance, and we give you all the praise and glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Be with us today.
But yeah, I wanted to define what boundaries and trauma are. A lot of times when we grow up in trauma, that is our norm. It's our baseline. And so that's why you see a lot of children who will stick up for their accused abuser because they don't know anything else. They don't have a context for anything else.
Rachel said adults do that as well. You're very,
Yes, when we don't have a context, and a lot of times it's a lot of us from small cities. We do not have a context for anything else but what is within our four walls. Before I moved up into Arkansas, I'd never really left Louisiana. We have to define what trauma is. And trauma can be something that happened. In fact, you can get PTSD from anything, from something that happened or something that did not happen. A lack of something because you didn't receive a basic need. So, trauma can be something that happened to you, something that happened around you, something that was you were part of, or it could be a lack of something. And so I think it's really important to recognize that
yes, that's what Rachel just said. Yeah.
neglect is trauma. Neglect or a high expectation not being met, or not, it's not a high, but an expectation.
Yes.
That can be traumatic. So, with that being said, that kind of sets up kind of what we're going to be talking about because a lot of trauma can be, um, or like PTSD. You can have PTSD from several things, not just from one thing, and that goes into complex post traumatic stress disorder. So, the boundaries, the definition for boundaries, what would you define a boundary?
I would define a boundary as setting I don't want to call it a rule, but setting like an expectation of like, if you do this, I can no longer be a part of this. Or, trying to think.
Can somebody cross your boundary?
Yeah. No, people have crossed my boundaries before, but they shouldn't be able to.
So, someone can only cross a boundary if you allow them to. Um, a boundary isn't, how do I explain what the boundary? I found this out the other day and it blew my mind that it has more to do with me than it is them. What am I going to allow? That really, in the end, you can say, if you do this, then it's more like, I'm not going to allow you to talk that way.
Yeah.
And you can just deuce out. They're acting disrespectful. you just deuce out.
Yeah.
And that is holding your boundary.
Yes. I hope people are in
So
here, plus me, but I've been better about setting and standing on my boundaries. Bree said, or if someone you trust lets others cross it too.
right.
Hmm.
Well, and the thing is like boundary is more about what are you going to allow.
Yeah.
When you think about a castle and a drawbridge, now they can do their best to climb the walls, um, but are you going to allow them to climb the walls? Are you going to allow them to? What are you going to allow? And whatever you allow, that is your boundary. So that is something to think about because a lot of times we think about, well, they keep, I put a line and they cross it. I put a line and they cross it. And it's more of what am I allowing them,
Yes.
you know?
Bree said,
And
for instance, in laws with a spouse that doesn't defend what you've said too. Like, definitely letting other people cross a boundary that's set.
well,
Sorry.
and then I think that spouse is not upholding the boundary that y'all agreed on, so he's allowing it. So it's being allowed.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of how I I really started understanding more about what am I going to allow.
Sorry, I'm gonna take notes.
You're good. You're good. You're good. What am I going to allow? Um, when Satan touched Job, he was only able to touch Job because God allowed it. Otherwise, he had a hedge of protection. And he went to Job. God went to Satan went to God and was like, "Hey, pull the hedge of protection, pull the boundary. Let me try." And when God pulled that boundary, it was only then that Satan was allowed to touch Job.
Yes.
So that's kind of how it's like okay. Um, and that kind of really started giving myself permission to go no contact with my mom because I had to think about what am I going to allow.
Hmm.
So trauma and boundaries. So a lot of us are raised in trauma. Trauma can happen. There's a lot of people that are now grown up, so to speak. I don't know if we're really grown up. I mean, if we're 11, I'm not really grown up. But we're getting late diagnosed with ADHD. We're getting late diagnosed with um, autism, and it's rocking our world. And the reason being is because um, there was trauma inflicted unintentionally.
Yes.
I can look back now and go, man, I really should have had the support. There should have been more understanding. There should have been. No wonder I'm so anxious now as a 30 some odd, 40 some odd, 20 late 20 some odd someone because
Hmm.
we're filled with anxiety
We've never been
and
allowed those boundaries.
right,
Yeah.
right, and we weren't given the support we needed.
Yeah.
And so we're having to deal with that is traumatic. That is traumatic, you know. And of course, we deal with the symptoms until we realize, even after we realize what caused the trauma.
Hmm.
So, so yeah, that's what I think is best to go ahead and define what trauma and boundaries are to kind of set the stage of what we're talking about.
Yeah,
You have a
definitely.
definition of what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
So people are all on the same page of where we're
Right.
going. Let's see. Rachel
How
said,
about
we
the
tend to
other?
pass trauma to our children when we don't break that generational curse as well. Um, And then Bree said, yes, I told my husband this is why I've set boundaries. I don't want stuff for my kids because if you allow your boundaries to be crossed, your kids are going to be in the fire. And I have personally witnessed that with some of my family. My kids are being hurt because I set boundaries in place or my boundaries were crossed and now they're being hurt in retaliation. And that's not
Right.
fair. Yeah, that's not fair. And it's hard to deal with that.
And so again, knowing what I was dealing with,
Hmm.
I made the ultimate choice to go no contact with the parents. So
And I do
um,
think, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I do think it is important for us to state that we are not advocating for people to go no contact with family. If you're able to have a relationship and you're able to work through your problems and your traumas with your family and you both want to work on those, then of course, like we that is always the goal is to have beautiful relationships with your family because God gave us family for a reason. They're supposed to be here. They're supposed to be your support system, but it just doesn't always work out that way. And you both have to want to change and heal to be able to have that relationship. So, anyways, I did want to just say that before we are talking about, oh, no contact, no contact. This was not an easy decision for anybody, for you, for me. And yeah, like Rachel is saying in the comments, that he will tell you, pray about it, and he will tell you. And yeah, sorry. I just wanted to kind of put that little preface in there before people are like, "Hi, it's your family," you know.
no contact should be a hard fought prayer decision with God, and I agree with that. And I this year will be 6 years that I made the hard choice uh, to set that um, to make that choice. I tried
Mhm.
everything under the sun. I went through therapy, talked to them, and it and unfortunately I have peace.
Mhm.
I do have peace, but um, that I think that maybe jumping far. I didn't know exactly what the first step you wanted to head
So
towards.
I think how to start the process of the healing. Where do you go? You're like, you have these toxic relationships that you're like, I don't know how to deal with this. These people are hurting me. They're making me act how I know I do not want to behave. And how do we handle the first steps of that? And is it, I think for me, in my journey, is like I had to heal myself first. I had to realize like, okay, I can't let people, why am I acting this way? You know what does that make sense? Like, how can I control myself? And if I can't control myself in those situations, like, how do we go about that, the healing process of this? No contact, toxic family, toxic relationships, because it's not always just family.
So I think the first thing you have to realize is that it is toxic. So that's
Hmm.
really hard sometimes. It's really hard to identify. So the first thing is identification. When you can finally notice that you're out of character, that you're out of what your norm is, how you are acting, and like you said, you're making me. Well, no one can really make you do anything, but they
Hmm.
can definitely influence you, and they know the buttons that they can push to get you. It's called reactive abuse. They push and
Um,
push and they push until you explode, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, I thought you were Christian. Oh, well, I thought that's not very godly like.
yeah.
Oh, well, I thought you had all this together. Where's your therapy now? And then they play the victim. Like, how dare you? It was a joke.
Yeah. My thing is I'm healing, not healed. So,
But I think the first part of it is recognition. I think it's identifying that you need to be healed. Sometimes we don't even recognize that that needs to happen. And even when we're like, oh, I'm broken of some sort. Okay, now we have to figure out what part of me is needs the healing. And so it's identifying that, and then identifying what the toxicity is. It's really easy to, we throw around, oh, they're just toxic. Okay, are they really?
mhm.
Okay, let's think about this. Their actions, their demeanor, how they're treating you. Is this okay? And if it is not, okay. in this relationship, if you want to start with ourself, and we always should, to be
Mhm.
honest.
Mhm. What's that
It's
scripture you sent me earlier? Um, take the log out of your own eye before you. I, I know you sent it to me, and I thought I had it written down here, but let me see. No, I just have the other ones, of course.
It's like it was on point today. That's mostly talking about like a hypocrite type situation.
Mhm.
Um, when you're talking about
Mm.
um,
Katie said, "How do we draw boundary line when in the same household?"
that is a great question. Let's put a pin in that when we
Yep.
get to that part. Because every situation is going to be different. Your living situation, are you living with them? Is it co-living? Is it what type of relationship are we talking about? It's really going to depend.
Mhm.
It really will. Because I have to have boundaries with my kids. I have to have boundaries with my husband. But before we get, that's not, I want to get too
Yeah,
far
sorry.
ahead. Oh, no, you're good. You're good. That's a great question. I just want to make sure we go back to it. So, what we need to talk about first is, and that's really where I started, God search me. It's so easy to look at them and what they're doing and how they're affecting me, but God, something in me is allowing them to affect me.
Mhm.
Something in me is before I start trying to tell them what to do or asking you to change them in some way, God search me. God search my heart. Okay, let's and I strengthen my relationship with him first.
Yes. Yes.
First. Before my husband, before my kids, before anybody else, it's got to be me and God first.
Mhm.
And so you go down that journey and you take accountability and responsibility for that in you.
Yes. Yes, a
Uh,
100%.
so we start talking about, okay, God, what is in me that I need to do better, that I need to grow, that I need to change? Because to be honest, I was incredibly toxic and I did not recognize it.
Been
I
there.
was a product of my raising, and that was my norm to yell, scream, hit. And I was, I was raised up in a very religious household. And, you know, I short tempered, and not patient at all. I'm still working on patience.
I think
And
we
I'm
all
not
are.
together at all, but I think it starts with yourself. And once you can identify some things within yourself and start working on you, start healing some things within you. Well, why am I that way? Why, you know, why do I do this? Why do I treat that person that way? And et cetera, et cetera. And
And
then
get to the root of the problem so you can really have that healing in yourself.
within yourself first.
Mhm.
And then that's the first step. And then accepting who you were. Yeah, I did that. I can look back now and I'm like, yeah,
Crying.
I was rough. Woo! Man, I was manipulative and mean and hateful, and I could be conniving. And I look back and I'm like, yeah, that was me. I did that. And some of it I did intentionally. And accepting, like, okay, yeah, I'm not saying it's okay,
Mhm.
but that's the first step to being able to accept others for exactly who they are. Not who they have the potential to be, not who you want them to be. As much as we love and we, you know, we want our friends and our family to have the best life possible. And sometimes I used to give advice without them asking, and then I was wondering why I was falling on deaf ears and my feelings were hurt because they weren't listening to me. They didn't want it.
They have to want it. They have to want it.
But I wasn't accepting them for who they were showing me they were, where they are in that part. You know, a lot of times we think we have. uh, we people, because I hear it so much, so it must be pretty common. We think we have to have it all together to come to God.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, I'll start going to church once I, reach this milestone. I'll give my life to God once this happens. Once I can buy enough skirts or buy clothes that are appropriate for church.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Once I
no,
can
no, no.
clean my act up.
Right, and God's saying, "Come as you are," because He accepts us for who we are in that moment. And I think that when it comes to ourselves, we have to recognize where we are versus where we've come from
Mm-hmm.
and where we want to be. With people, like
Right,
yeah,
Chelsea.
you're right. You're right.
We never feel good enough.
We don't until, and I think that if we recognize that in the end, until we get to heaven, it's never going to be good enough.
Mhm. Yes, Jessica. Yes. Come as you are, and that's exactly where we have to be willing to meet others.
Right, and again, just accept them for who they are, because here at the end of the day, we are not responsible for them.
No.
You're not responsible for your cousin. You're not responsible for their soul. You're not responsible for um, your friends. They have they can make their own choices.
Mm-hmm.
So you can stress yourself out trying to control that narrative, but in the end, you're neglecting yourself, and you're neglecting your relationship with God because you're so focused on somebody else. And that's why I say, okay, let's go back to self. You know what? I recognize that I do that. You're right, God. I get distracted and I'm trying to help everybody, and I get lost in the busyness.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to accept that other person for exactly who they are in that moment. Recognize. And I'm not saying welcome them. I'm not saying welcome them. I'm not saying give them complete access to everything.
Mm-mm.
I'm saying, okay, Jacob in the Bible, his name meant liar, supplanter. That's exactly who he was.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly who he was. And he's like, I know that's what I am. Until he got his name changed. Until he made the change. Until he put in the effort.
Yes.
And his name changed to Israel. So when I say the parent that I am no longer in contact with is my mother, and I accept her for exactly who she is right now.
Mm-hmm. And you love
And
her. You love your
oh,
mom.
I do. And
Mm-hmm.
I wish her the best, and I hope that she gets the peace that she needs. She also had a very traumatic life
And I think
growing
that
up.
is, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think that's also something that, like, accepting someone for who they are. It's like you can understand why they are the way that they are. And, like, and that makes it like you're like, oh, they've gone through all this. That's why they are this way. And you just see them as who they are and why they are that way. And it makes it so much easier to offer forgiveness. I know we're not there yet, but to offer that forgiveness to them. Like, I forgive you for being
Mhm.
this way. And I pray you get the healing that you need. And, but anyway, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Understanding why helps us accept the process.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the deal: I accept my mother for who she is and who she is right now. I do not accept the behavior. I don't
Yeah.
accept the behavior. Um, I can forgive her for what she didn't know. Um, I can forgive her for even making bad choices. But in this moment, because it not doesn't just affect me, but I'm enough that making that choice for me is enough. Um, I just don't accept the behavior.
Yes.
It's not okay. It's not okay to treat me the way she has been treating me.
Yes.
So I didn't know exactly what part of the stories you wanted to go into, or, um, but yeah, the first part is accepting, um, identifying things in yourself, getting yourself with right with God, like talking to Him
Yep.
and growing that relationship,
And
and then accepting those people for exactly who they're showing you they are.
so kind of like where I was going was offering that forgiveness and forgiving them for their actions. Like how do you find that? Like we kind of just said, you find it by when you understand whenever you can look within yourself and you can say, "Hey, I sucked. Like I wasn't great." You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
I can what's the word that I'm looking for? Take accountability for my actions. I can grow. And now it's like you can want that for somebody else and you can be like, okay, I see where you are. You're not taking accountability for your actions, but I can give you the forgiveness because if I don't forgive you in my heart, I'm just going to harbor that anger. It's going to hurt me. It's going to continue to hurt me. It's going to continue into other relationships. It's going to continue the way that I live my life, the way that I think. So, how can we get to that part of like where we're able to offer that forgiveness, or what does that look like in real time? Like, what would you say? Like,
You have to identify what forgiveness looks like for you. And for
mm-hmm,
a long time, I didn't know how to properly define it.
mm-hmm,
And so you have to, within yourself, say what is forgiveness. So biblically, let's see, Matthew 6:14 through 15, um, kind of goes into more detail, but it says forgiveness is not about condoning wrongdoing, but rather releasing bitterness and resentment, and allowing for healing and freedom. So it's not about
the way you pulled
allowing.
that out.
Um, so it's not about forgive and forget. It's not about being a doormat.
Yes.
Forgiveness, for me, defining it is I let go. I let go of the rights for justice. I am no longer seeking justice for
Yes.
actions that you did to me.
Yes.
I'm giving it to God and vengeance is the Lord's. But
Yes. The Lord will take care of that.
and that's what it is. That's really what forgiveness is for me is okay, I'm no longer seeking an apology. I'm no longer seeking justice to be served for the wrongdoings you've done to me.
Um, do you Rachel said Romans 12:19. I was gonna just read that real quick. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, it is mine to avenge, I will repay, says the Lord.
So forgiveness really is simply I'm no longer seeking revenge.
Yes. And I think that is so good. I've never thought of it that way. Like, that is so true. Like, I'm no longer seeking that justice for those actions. Like, I have to let that go. I can't keep harboring it. And I'm not saying that what they did was not wrong or that they shouldn't be held accountable for their actions. But when you set those boundaries in place, you're holding them accountable for their actions. And that's
And
the
a lot of times we haven't let that go. We we mistake revenge for justice.
Mhm. Mhm.
We mistake that we call it justice, but really it's revenge. And so I think
Yes.
that, and I'm not saying it'll make the hurt feelings go away, but you get to a point in your walk where you're like, you know what, it's not worth my time. Oh,
Mhm.
that right there has been like a very powerful statement for the past 3 years for me. You know what? That's just not worth my time. That's not worth the rent in my brain.
Yep. So Jessica said, actually, I should have read 18 through 19 as if it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. You have to have that peace in your heart. You have to be able to let go, to be able to give it to God. You have to have that peace in your heart.
And again, I'm not saying be a doormat
Mm-mm.
at all. Not. I'm actually saying the opposite. Um, yes, it's breaking the chains that the other person has. Well, and I would say you'll find that a lot of my the way my brain works is what am I responsible for? What did I allow? Am I allowing um, what am I allowing? Because I'm only responsible for me.
Yep.
And going back to the peace, the Beatitudes, blessed are the peacemakers. There is a difference between a peacemaker and a peacekeeper. And this goes along right alongside boundaries, okay? So, do you, do you know the difference between a peacemaker and a peacekeeper? Now, God called us to be peacemakers. But a lot of times we hear, well, I'm just trying to be a peacekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Peacekeepers
Are
avoid conflict in order
avoidant.
to keep the peace. Okay?
And
They avoid conflict. They do and will say or do whatever they can to keep the peace, keep the peace.
got to sweep it under the rug.
But a peacemaker actually has the hard conversations and they literally make peace with
Yes.
surrounding peoples.
Yes. That is so good. That is so good. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And people pleasers are peacekeepers. They are not peacemakers.
Yeah. And I
They're
do
not.
think that I've struggled with the difference in that. And I think a lot of my family struggles with that. Let's keep the peace so that we can do X, Y, and Z. But no, you can't just keep the peace. We got to actually have peace because if not, you're going to be in the back of your head. Everyone's going to be in the back of their head twirling, like upset, offended, da da da, all this. Like, no.
Walking on eggshells, and really, there's no peace.
Mm-mm.
There's just delayed chaos,
Say,
delayed
yep.
conflict. And so, if we walk around just keeping the peace, that means we're allowing people's bad behavior.
Mm-hmm.
We're letting them. We know that Uncle Johnny, Uncle Johnny and Sister Susie Q are gonna come over and they're gonna act a fool. But we have to invite them because God forbid if we don't,
Mm-hmm.
then they're gonna say something on Facebook. Then Lord knows, they'll call cops or they'll act out. And so we
Mm-hmm.
have to
Yep.
act or we have to allow toxic behaviors. We are allowing hurtful behaviors.
Yes. There's no accountability there. There's no growth there. There's no getting closer to God there. It's it's just like you said, chaos. It's toxic. It's disrupting your life. It's disrupting your relationships. It's disrupting like your peace. Like it really is.
Right. And Rachel, you're right. You have to and when I say ignore, it's more you come to a place within yourself. And I told someone this the other day. I said, "Are you okay with being the villain in the story?" I'm the villain.
I'm the villain too, girl, to a lot of people.
I'm the villain. I am the daughter that just stopped talking for no reason.
Hmm.
I'm the one who took advantage, or she tried to tell people that my husband was abusive, and I had to recognize that no matter what I did, I was going to be the villain. I was going to be the one, and she's always going to be the victim. Sometimes people in your
Yes.
life will always be the victim,
Hmm.
and again, I accept that. I see it, and that means that no, actually, that gives me the freedom that no matter what I do,
I'm gonna be the villain no matter what I do. And it's also so funny. Like I'm the villain because I'm trying to hold you accountable for your actions. And I'm not going to accept them how they are. I'm sorry. I'm not going to accept the behaviors. I'm not going to accept you talking behind my back. I'm not going to accept you being ugly to my children. I'm not going to accept it anymore. And I'm
Right.
sorry that you can't accept that. I'm setting this boundary and I'm not allowing it. And I'm going to have a conversation with you about it. And I'm sorry it's uncomfortable, but how you make me feel is uncomfortable. And I'm tired of being uncomfortable.
Yep. You're right. And Rachel, you're right. Exactly. And I think that's what um, kind of freed me a lot to that Jesus was the villain in a lot of people's story.
Hmm. Sorry, I'm putting some socks on. My
Jesus,
feet are cold.
the Son of Man, was the villain.
Hmm.
So when you've accepted that, that is that's the second step of peace. It's like it comes in like waves. Like, okay, you recognize it, and even if you've not done anything, maybe you're not ready to confront them or have a conversation,
Hmm.
but recognizing, you know what, no matter what I do,
So,
have the conversation, not have the conversation. And a lot of times with people in our life that have caused trauma in our life, yeah, you're right. They've had hard lives, but that's not an excuse. Unfortunately, in life, we may not be the cause of our own trauma, but we are responsible for what we do with it,
we're
for the healing.
responsible for our actions.
And they
What
are
was that you
too.
sent me today
Come on.
with you're like which, the one with Jackie. She was talking
Oh,
about how we have to like you just said, we may not cause it, but it's our responsibility of how we handle our actions from it.
right. And for a lot of us, and with Jackie, I remember what it was now. She was talking about how you're expecting something from me that I have no context for.
Yes.
I wasn't raised with a nurturer. I wasn't raised, but yet you're expecting me to be this way to my husband. I don't know what a wife looks like. My mom was never a wife. I don't know what that's supposed to look like, and God saying, I know. Let me guide you.
Yes. Teach me how
Yes,
to
I'm
be a
stretching
daughter.
this out of you because I'm expecting you to grow
Mhm.
for who you are supposed to be in me and who your children, if you have children, not everybody has children, but who you're the next generation that you are raising
Mhm.
is supposed to be.
And so, sorry, I wanted to go back to this question that Bree had. She said, "What if you can't have this conversation? How do you handle that if I'm assuming because of the situation she's talking about her husband's family. I believe that's what you're saying, Bree, if you want to confirm or not confirm. She's not able to have these conversations probably because her husband's boundaries, which are not good because he's not allowing these conversations to be had. How do you handle that? How do you go forth with that? Do you just set your boundaries in place and they're going to accept it? And if they have a problem, or your husband, maybe it's a time where you need to have a conversation with your husband and say he doesn't want the convo, he's a peacekeeper. Well, that's not fair to you.
You have to have a legitimation. They say they don't like you. Um,
We obviously don't have to get into the details of her,
yeah, no,
but yeah, just read the.
um, so the fact that you recognize that having that conversation would not help.
Yeah.
Listen, I talked to my mom until I was blue in the face, crying, and nothing ever got resolved. And I knew, like, again, I accepted that. And the thing is like, they don't have to accept your boundaries. They don't have to. You accept your boundaries.
Because what did you
Uh,
say at the beginning when we defined boundaries? We have the power to allow them to cross our boundaries. That's blocking if you need to block. That's telling them, hey, if you do this behavior again, you will not hear from me and you will not see my children. And
exactly. Now, when it
unfortunately,
comes to in laws, I mean, you set your boundaries. Now, here's the thing. It don't matter what they think. It really doesn't. You're right. If your spouse doesn't support that, then it's not easy. However, that means that you have to set boundaries with him.
Mhm.
Okay, and it's not, again, but it has to come from a place of peace,
Mhm.
not of retaliation, not out of panic.
Yeah.
You have to, it's a resolve that you come to. Like, okay, look, I get that you love your family. I love your family. I hope they do well. This is how they're hurting me. And this is how they're hurting the kids. And this is how what you're allowing them to do is affecting us.
Yeah. And I think also just to say that when you're having these hard conversations, I think it's so important. And from what I've learned, just even with my children, we learn so much from our children. It's like, and for myself, whenever someone comes to me and wants to talk to me about something, I'm like, you got to sandwich it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I need you to start out with the good. So when I go to my son and say, hey, buddy, I love you. You are so smart. You're so brave. You're so capable. You are a genuine person. You're so kind. But we need to discuss this part of you and how we can grow this part of you or grow this part of our relationship. Like this behavior is hurting me, and I don't want that. I want us to have a good relationship. I want us to be able to thrive together, but we're going to have to come together. And I know that sounds so silly because I'm talking to a child, but honestly, that's how we're all children. We're all children at the end of the day. Like, and a lot of us, when we come from toxic situations or have that trauma, we haven't had been able to mature correctly and mature how someone who doesn't experience these things. So we
Mhm.
get offended, we get upset, we get hurt. If you have rejection, what is it? Rejection.
Just to read this for you.
Yeah. So
Oh,
we have all
for
these things, and most of the time other people do too. And so it's just like, hey, if someone's going to come to me and talk to me about this, how I want to offer them the same respect and like, hey, I love you. I really want to have a great relationship with you. I want to have a great relationship and I want us to be a team. But right now that's not happening. How can we get there? I love you. I want you to be happy too. How can we both get there?
right. And when it comes to spouses or someone in the home, there has to be, it has to start with a mutual respect. And even if they don't agree and they don't see how it's affecting you, this is where grace and understanding for your spouse. I have to understand that their reaction is because they probably had some trauma in their life too.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
were probably raised in a culture where it's not okay to say no to an adult, no matter how horrific they are. They are raised in a household where uh, you don't ask questions, and it's hard when you can see it,
Mhm.
and they can.
Yeah.
And it sometimes will take time for them to get to a place where they process it. Or maybe they're the golden child and they do nothing wrong. And they're all lovey dovey for them, but to everybody else, it's a different story.
Mhm.
Um, of course, until they do something wrong or defy them in some sort of way. And nobody wants to be in the bad graces. Nobody wants that. And that is a trauma response.
Yeah.
That is a trauma response.
Yeah.
Um, a lack of we're honestly even at even younger, hug we were hugged when we didn't want to be hugged. We were thrown in the car and never told where we were going or what we were doing until we got there. We were never communicated with.
Mhm.
And I'm not excusing that behavior. And remember, just because you can see why they are the way they are does not mean you have to accept it. But it
Yes.
does help you process what's going on.
Yes.
Uh, like what Jessica said, let's see. Yeah, that's right. We don't for our we don't force our no one our kids to hug anybody. I don't force a hug. because body bubble, body boundaries, you know.
Mhm.
But let's see, Jessica said something earlier, and it was really, um, she was on it about the being mutual, has to be mutual respect,
Yep.
and if that they want a relationship with the family, that's fine. And like again, hey, listen, I love you, and I want you to have a relationship with your family. They're not kind to me. Um, they're treating me in a way that I don't accept. And so if you want to go over and you want to be a part of that, that's fine. I just don't want to continue to allow them to be rude to me
Yeah.
and to ruin my mood and to cause me to feel bad about myself. And that is a boundary. I don't want this to affect me, so I'm not going to do it. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like I'm allergic to bananas. I'm not gonna eat bananas, but it's banana pie and it's the greatest thing ever, or it's banana pudding. Yeah,
Still
but
can't
I'm
have
not
it.
banana. I don't want it.
Yeah.
But it's covered bananas. I don't want bananas.
Not happening.
But she's your mom.
She's your
She's also human.
yeah.
He's your dad.
And also
He's also human.
sisters, uncles, aunts,
They're
cousins.
blood.
Yeah.
You're
They're not going to live forever. Like, okay.
Yeah, I hope not, because that would suck. I don't want to live forever.
Yeah. No.
We're all still human. And
Mhm.
again, just because they are family, just because they are close friends, and just because they at one point were amazing, just because everything wasn't bad, doesn't mean I have to. Does not mean I have to accept
Mhm.
how they're treating me now.
Yeah. And also this is I was just thinking about this because we're talking about husbands and wives and those kinds of relationships. Jesus, it lines out perfectly in the Bible how a marriage is supposed to be. It's
Mhm.
supposed to be a man leaves his family and now he's
Mhm.
starting his own family. And this comes before his parents.
Mhm.
And and that's something that is those boundaries are just like so because oh the Bible preaches oh you have to respect your parents and honor your parents.
Oh,
You
oh,
can,
oh, 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 wait. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up, wait a minute. Give it just a minute. The Bible says, honor your father and mother. Yes.
yep.
The Bible says to children, obey your parents in all things, for
Mhm.
this is well
Mhm.
pleasing unto the
Mhm.
Lord. Do you also know what the Bible says about?
Ephesians 6 1 through 4. We can read it real quick. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise, so that it may go well with you and that you may enjoy life, long life on earth. Then it goes to say, fathers, do not exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and instruction of the Lord.
Say that one more time. One more again. One more
Fathers,
again.
do not exasperate your children. Do not
Do
aggravate them.
not exaggerate your children.
You got to let
Do
them
not
go.
aggravate your children. Don't pick at them. That is reactive abuse.
Hmm.
You are causing them. You are poking. Do not aggravate your children. A lot of times we forget that.
Hmm.
The and let's remind ourselves the fact that the Bible this gives children value.
Sorry.
Up until the Newer Testament, children did not have value. Why? Because you could make another.
Yep.
But it specifically says, do not provoke
Yep.
your children.
Yep. Sorry, I was looking for this first. That Bree said Luke 12:51 through 53. Do you?
Exactly, Miss Bell. Exactly. That
Oh,
is
Miss Bell,
exactly. We
hi.
can respect our and show honor to our parents by living a godly life. It does not mean
Yes.
obedience. Does not mean blind obedience.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
It does not mean blind
Honoring and
obedience.
obedience are not the same thing. Are
Nope.
not the same thing.
Nope.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to read this real quick if you're okay with that. It's Luke 12:51 through 53. Do you think I came to bring peace on earth? No, I tell you, but division. From now on, there will be five in one family divided against each other, three against two, and two against three. They will be divided, father against son, and son against mother, mother against daughter, and daughter against mother, mother in law against daughter in law, and daughter in law against mother in law. Sorry, that's the whole bit.
Tell me what that says. Tell me what that tells you.
That it's gonna happen. The boundaries, and there's going to be fights in families. There's going to be disagreements. There's going to be arguments, but you have to set those boundaries in place. And you have to follow Jesus first. That is the number one thing. Above all, you have to follow him first. And that is going to separate things, and that is going to cause division. It's going to cause division between everybody. But it's
Tell me how a man can be the head of the household if mom is still pulling the strings. Tell me if mom is still running his life and telling him what to do, not telling him what,
guidance.
not guidance,
Yes,
but telling
exactly.
him what to do. How can he truly be the head of his household and his familial unit?
Hmm.
Wow. It's impossible.
Because how does
It's
it go? It's God, husband, wife, children.
Mhm. when when I married my okay, when before I married my husband, it was God and me and then the church and then everybody else. When I got married, my first ministry. Now, again, I was part of children's ministry growing up. I mean, yes, all of my abuse happened while I was in church, while I was a Christian. My mother was a Christian. People who abused me were Christians, Pentecostal, apostolic Pentecostals. People thought they were super godly people. Oh, me puzzle piece. Um, they thought they were super good. I mean, they were all involved, right?
Hmm.
And my brain, the puzzle piece caught me.
uh, Super godly people, but you're still
Oh,
missing.
but here's the deal. So, it was just me and my mom and my sister my whole
You and
life,
your husband.
right?
Hmm.
And so then I got married. Yes, leave and cleave, right? Leave and cleave. And relationships had to change. Now I will tell you, so let me finish this and I'll kind of come back to it. My mom and I were in enmeshment, and we were trauma bonded
Hmm.
heavily. Not just because we both went through trauma, but because she charged she caused the trauma and then she bonded with me. She caused the trauma and then she bonded with me. She would yell at me, cuss at me, go into the bathroom, come out, and invite me to the movies. True story. Less than 5 minutes. So when my role changed, and so I think I'm speaking to somebody, and you don't have to raise your hand or nothing if this is you. When she was happy when I met my husband, and then I think she slowly realized that he wasn't going to move where we were. I was going to move to where he was, and our relationship had to change. I was no longer going to be her person that's going to be right there to mediate her relationship with everybody. Because when I got married, my first ministry, all ministries went away. My first ministry became my marriage. My marriage is my very first ministry, and
Hmm.
nothing else gets attention in my world. God gets the majority of my attention, and then yes, then my time with my husband, then my time with my children, because I am I am responsible for my kids' souls.
Yes. Yes.
And they become at the age of accountability and they can do stuff and make choices on their own,
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting them to do. I So I can't give Sister Susie or Aunt Fro or Leela or I don't know just anybody else that much attention because I am responsible for my relationship with my husband, my relationship with God, and my kids' relationship with God and me.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That is my responsibility. And it's like, oh, I have to hold myself accountable for
Mm-hmm.
what I am responsible for. Am I responsible for, and again, I'm not saying intentionally hurt people's feelings, but I'm saying, am I responsible for mom's feelings, dad's feelings, grandma's feelings, auntie's feelings? No. I can't change that.
Mm-mm.
What I am responsible for is my kids learning what peace is, my kids learning you can say no.
Yes. Exactly.
Even if it's me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm causing discord in your life. If I'm inserting myself where I don't need to be, because you are a grown folk, when you're a grown folk, tell me no.
Yeah.
You have every right to remove the things that are causing trauma, that
Mm-hmm.
are reopening trauma, that are using your trauma against you, that are um, keeping you, that is stunting your growth emotionally and spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, my brain just kind of like clicked off, but
The forgiveness, loving from a distance.
yeah, forgiveness is not just allowing someone to run all
Forgiveness
over.
does not equal reconciliation, and I think that's the number one thing people need to learn because you can forgive them, but that forgiveness is for you and God. It's not really
Right.
for that other person because that other person, like, they're going to keep doing what they want to do until they decide it's time for them to heal. They're not going to change until they're ready to change. Whereas, like, when
And we
you're
can,
able to say again,
and we can accept that.
mm-hmm,
And what I was going towards was um, there's a phrase I think we've all heard. You think you're better than me.
oh, I'm not.
You
That's why I can't be around you.
you think you're you think you're better than me, and it's like you've changed. You're not the same person.
I
And
hope so.
I used to get hurt, and I was like, wait, yeah, I have changed. I'm married, and I'm part of three other ministries I wasn't before, and I've gone to this school, and I've gotten these certificates and licenses, and then I became a mom, and my entire makeup has absolutely changed. In fact, did you know that every 7 years, you're a whole new person? Your whole body, your skin, from the inside out, is completely a new set of cells. So, yeah, I am a new person.
7 is the number of completion.
It is. And 8 is the number of new beginnings.
Ooh, that's good.
So, yeah, I did change. Everything's changed. And you know what? Not to sound haughty, but yeah, I am better than you. Aren't you proud of me? Don't you want me to be? You know, my parents did better than their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I acknowledge that. My mom, she did a better job. My mom believed me when I told her that some bad stuff had happened. Her mom didn't. Okay? My mom got us out. And this is where dialectical thinking comes in. And this will help with your boundaries, okay? Two things can be true at the same time. I forgive you, and this is your key word here, and also, We're not going to go either or. Oh, no, we're going to over there. And also, I forgive you, and I'm no longer allowing access to my life.
Yeah.
I
That's so
love you,
beautiful. Yep.
and you guess what? You loved me, and you hurt me.
Yeah.
You did the best that you could, and you hurt me.
Yeah.
And you caused a lot of trauma. You know, those two things can be true at the same time.
Yep.
You know, my husband and I, little scroll here. There is a teal color. When we see it, I call it blue. The man swears on all of his Bible knowledge that it's green.
It's surf green.
It is not green. It is teal.
It is surf
It
green.
is blue.
He says
It is
it's
not
surf green.
blue. It's blue.
We need to see
And
the color.
do we have that color here?
No, I don't have that guitar.
It's like the
He doesn't have
dress, the black and gold dress, or blue and gold.
That's a perfect example. Two things can be true at the same time. The only difference is perspective. The only difference is they see it different. You think you're better than me. They take it as a personal attack, and we take it as, yeah, aren't you proud of me?
Yeah. Aren't you proud that I'm growing? Aren't you proud that I'm not in that same cycle anymore?
They're not, because their growth is stunted. And that's when we say, I recognize that for what it is. It's not my job. Okay, us moms, if all of you moms in here, when we have those elders in our family or the cousins or people and we love them, oh, we love them. That the love is not no one's questioning that. Or they shouldn't. We love them. And what? Um
He's proud of his wife.
we love them, and we're not responsible for them. I'm responsible for the 2 womb fruit that I made.
Yep.
If I'm giving them the rent free in my head, if I'm giving them multiple conversations, multiple fruitless conversations that just end up in more conflict or end up with people blocking each other or more drama and more chaos. And if that's happening, that means you're taking away that time and that mental energy from your kids. You can't give 100% here and 100% here. So that time and that energy has to come from something. If you're giving it to people that are responsible for themselves, you are taking it from the people that you're responsible for. You're taking your peace from yourself and giving it. Now, again, we love them and we want the best for them. We want the best with them. Also, we're not responsible for them.
No, we're not. They have to take responsibility for themselves.
And if they don't, that is a choice.
Yes, that
Doing
is a
nothing
choice.
is a choice.
So,
Well, you didn't tell me about this. It wasn't my job. And I hope this is making sense.
oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'm learning so much. I know the girls, and if there's any men here, are learning so much.
And I think, again, working from a place of peace or protecting your peace. At the end of the day, a lot of people don't know that I went no contact with my mom. I never made it public. I didn't even tell her. I just stopped responding because it was getting me, like, answering didn't get me anywhere.
Nope.
Constantly trying to defend myself wasn't getting me anywhere. And it hurt. It hurt to go no contact with some of my family because of their choices and because I was no longer going to accept their choice to treat me the way they were.
Um, so, whenever you do decide to set these boundaries in place, like sometimes you do have guilt about it. You do miss these people. And like, how do you think that, what, in your perspective, how have you been able to navigate that? And do you have any like advice for someone who is trying to do this, who does have that guilt of like, oh, this is a family member, this is my sister, this is my parent, like the guilt of removing yourself, the guilt of, like, for me, I have guilt of my children not being able to be around their cousins because like that's not fair to them that they are not able to spend time with them, but it's like it's just not possible. It's not possible. I have guilt that life is going by and we're not involved in each other's life, and I so it's just like I don't, how do we navigate that? And I don't know if this is
Yeah, no, this makes sense. So I think when you get to the place where you're okay if you're the villain, you expect the backlash.
mhm,
The guilt of your children, if you have children, not being a part of their cousins' lives, you make it the new norm.
mhm,
And you know what? Their children are having to, are paying the price for their actions.
yeah,
Are you willing to pay the price for allowing their actions? Is it worth your children picking up bad habits and seeing that it's okay to be treated the way they're treating you? Would you want your children to accept that? And remembering that these people are people, they are human. No
mhm,
matter if you share genetic makeup, there's a famous saying, and it's used against us a lot as children. Blood's thicker than water.
oh, this is good,
You're our family.
mhm,
Family blood is more important than your friends and
Is it worth a generational curse?
ooh,
okay, well, husband worth a generational curse.
yeah, I heard that,
Um, so it's that's not even the whole saying.
yeah,
We just talked about David and Jonathan in the Bible, right?
mhm,
And they made a covenant together. Now, at that point, when they made the covenant together as friends, they were not family. They were not blood related, but their bond was stronger than anything. It even
yep,
says so.
yep,
The phrase actually says the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. The covenant that I have with my husband
mhm,
is more important and it's stronger because I chose it.
yep,
I can't choose who I was born from.
mhm,
We cannot choose our blood relation, but we can choose who we call family. And
mhm,
it's not always blood related. It's great when it is.
yeah,
That's awesome. And also, and also, that covenant, and let me tell you how strong a covenant is. So, in the, Bill, you'll remember where this story is. The Bible talks about we are grafted into the family of God.
mhm, yeah,
Even though the Jews were first, right?
mhm,
And Jesus was born a Jew,
yeah,
right?
mhm,
Right.
mhm,
But when Jesus died and opened that familial bond to non blood relation, when God opened the Holy Spirit to the Gentiles and offered heaven to the Gentiles, that's how strong a covenant is. Bible says to graft. When you're trying to plants, you can cut into one plant, and even you can cut into a plant and then put another plant and wrap it, and it grafts and it heals together, and it grows more.
Mm-hmm.
And grafting is an agricultural technique where a branch from one plant is attached to another, allowing the grafted branch to benefit from the rootstock of the host, Jesus. And in this case, the Gentiles are grafted into the olive tree, sharing in its spiritual nourishment and blessings.
Yep.
They weren't even attached, but God grafted. When me and my husband, when the two become one,
Mm-hmm.
that
Covenant.
bond, that covenant is stronger than the genetics that I was given from my parents.
Yep. Yep.
That's how strong a covenant is. Now, we've talked about boundaries and trauma, but even with our children, we have to have boundaries. We can't tell them everything.
No.
And we have to be like, you cannot be all up in my face all the time.
Yep.
Like, space.
This is an adult conversation. Take your butt out.
Yes, they
Yes.
have to learn that no means no.
Mm-hmm.
And they learn boundaries first that way.
Mm-hmm.
They also learn boundaries by watching us. Again, what will we accept? What we accept becomes their baseline of what is acceptable.
Mm-hmm. And, yep.
That is their norm. Where do we want our children's baseline for accepting behavior? How hypocritical would it be? And this is convicting. We're convicting Kayla today. We're convicting Kayla today. How hypocritical would it be if little Johnny came home and said that uh, Lanny at school called him, what would be a kid's
A
uh,
butthead.
call? Johnny says that Lanny called him a butthead and that he was a loser and that his parents were losers and that he had more money and that he was stupid. And we say, you know what? Did you tell your teacher? You know what? You don't have to accept that. You don't have to be friends with him. But then we go over to Thanksgiving and we're called, what are you wearing? Um, Underhanded comments about our finance status, underhanded comments about the way we look, underhanded comments are being openly called a brat, openly being called stupid or ridiculous or
Too
um,
much.
you're overreacting. You're just really immature, and that's openly being said to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we accept it. We don't stop them. We don't say, no, I'm not going to, you know, what is that showing our kids?
To not
Because
be
they're
able
watching.
to.
They may be over two rooms over on an iPad, but they heard that.
Mm-hmm. Trust me, I know. My son will be in his bedroom. I'll be out here talking, and he's like, "Blah," and I was like, "You ain't supposed to be in this conversation, dude." They know. They
Yeah.
know.
And so they're seeing, do as I say, not as I do is hypocritical.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want that for our kids, but we accept it for ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't want that for our kids, but we accept it for ourselves. Sometimes the first part of learning how to do a boundary is apologizing to our younger self because nobody stood up for you. But now you're an adult and you have to stand up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, my heart hurts for my parents. My dad's dad died when he was 11 of ALS. He was raised by a single mom. Both of his sisters were much older than him. They had a lot of trauma. My grandmother had a lot of trauma. A lot of trauma.
Mhm.
Like, them 1920s and 30s and 40s was rough.
Mhm.
But that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Even the
Abs
Bible says that when we, how does it say, ignorance is not, um, the Bible, and I can't remember where it's at, but it's basically, you can't say you didn't know better.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know what you're talking about.
if you know to do better and you don't anyways, it's you sin, you know.
Yeah. So
You,
listen, for the parents that know that they're this way and they just say, "Well, that's just the way I am." Well, you know, a crocodile is who he is, but I'm not saying I'm allow a crocodile or an alligator into my house because that's just who he is.
Mhm.
No, a mastiff dog, he's huge.
right?
My mom's got one.
That don't mean just because I see one and he wants to come in my house, don't mean he's going to get to.
Yep.
I get that that's the way you are, and you're still expected to grow as a person.
I have so many people in my family who have gone through things, and I'm not saying these things are not hard things to go through, and I've witnessed the hard things, and but at some point in your life you have to be able to take accountability for your actions, heal from what hurt you, and move forward as a person. And it's really hard to, like, if someone doesn't want to do that, if someone doesn't want to grow, if someone doesn't want to be a better version of themselves, to keep them in your lives. And yeah, like you said
But I think
before.
that we have to reframe that.
Mhm.
Okay? Look, we can see potential in people. That's putting an expectation on somebody else.
Mhm.
And that's hard. Listen, I'm not I'm not I'm not trying to be mean, but that's putting an expectation on someone else. What if they truly do not have the capacity?
Yeah.
What if they don't hold the capacity to be better?
Yeah.
I truly think that's part of the acceptance part. Like,
Mhm.
frustration comes from unmet expectations. You, why aren't you better? Why you can be better? Can they?
Mhm.
Do they hold the ability to? Oh, goodbye, Chelsea.
Good night,
Thank you. We're
Chelsea.
about to hop off. We got to wrap it up. Maybe we do a part two.
Hey,
I
we
don't
like
know.
yeah.
Um, yeah, because I'm at the church right now. I'm in my
Yeah.
husband's office.
I think we're pretty close to, like, where we to wrap it
Yeah.
up. I think that obviously the conversation can go on and on and on because
No, absolutely.
everyone's situations are so different. Everyone is dealing with something different, and how to set those boundaries. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what boundaries are you looking for? If you have this relationship, what boundaries are you looking for in this relationship? What will make you happy? Like,
And
say,
are they capable? Are you
mm-hmm,
putting are you putting um, unrealistic expectations? And I was doing that. I was doing it to both of my parents. My dad does not have the ability to love me the
yes,
way I really want to be loved.
yes,
I'm not daddy's little girl, but we're good friends now.
yes,
We have the ability to be good friends. We can't go back and change things in the past, right?
mm-hmm,
But we can be good friends now.
yeah,
And that is an expectation I had to change.
yeah.
Um, I had to I had to change because I had to accept them for who they are showing me they are right now.
Yeah. And I think that is so important too. It's like, but me and my dad, like, we've had like our rough patches and issues throughout my life and whatever. And I've realized, and that it took me until this year to realize, like, my dad is not capable of being the father that I needed. He's not capable of that. And I have held him to that expectation my whole life. Like, oh, I need this. I need you to be emotionally available to me. I need you to comfort me. I need you to hug me. I need you to just call me and talk to me. He's not capable of that. Whether it's he just doesn't want to, whether it's like his pride hurts him and doesn't let him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
But
don't
that's who he is.
know, but that is who he is. And me being able to let go of those expectations and just,
And grieve the father that you wanted.
yep,
Grieve the father that you needed.
yep,
Grieve that expectation,
And grow.
let it go,
hmm
and then
yeah.
because now it's no longer a thorn in your side.
Yes, it's not. It truly is. I called him. We had a conversation. I told him, I am sorry for any pain that I've caused you because I'm not perfect. Like, if anyone knows me, they know I ain't anywhere perfect. And especially when I was growing up, I was crazy. Like, I'm sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry that I've done this. I'm sorry if I've made you feel X, Y, and Z. I was just doing the best that I could possibly do. Love you, Rachel. She's Rachel
Love you,
Harris is hopping off.
Rachel.
Letting go of all of those expectations of him as a person, as a father to me, and who I think a father should be, or what I needed as a father, that did relieve so much. I'm not mad at him. I don't hold any anger towards him anymore. Like, I genuinely do
Have
not.
given
Yes. Yes, I have forgiven him, even though he never apologized. You know what I'm saying? He's never apologized, but
nothing to do with
Reconciliation.
what they do.
yeah, no.
Boundaries have nothing to do with what they do.
Yep,
It's you.
yep, yep.
What are you allowing to accept? What are you allowing to accept in your life? And the Bible even talks about having healthy boundaries. I sent you a couple of scriptures earlier
Mhm.
today, and God was talking about how and why do we not allow wicked people in our life?
Proverbs.
Not, why we shouldn't
Mhm.
allow um, those type of people in our life, and it's not specific to strangers or church people or your brother's cousin, sister's brother's nephew's son.
Mhm.
It's talking about people in general.
Yeah, yeah. Who you are allowing in your inner circle affects you so much, affects your everything, even if you don't realize it, affects your everything. And like you sent me Proverbs 22, 24 through 25. Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn their ways and get ensnared. You're going to become like those people that you're around, and it's going to become your new normal. And then, or it's going to be so chaotic.
Because that's what is acceptable.
Yeah, yeah,
And if you ever wonder, is this okay or not? What I want my children
yeah,
going through.
yeah, yeah. And we're God's children. God does not want us to go through this. God does not want us to hurt. He does not want us to be involved in these things.
No, but
And
I'm also not the best listener.
yeah,
I'm also not the best listener.
yeah,
He knows I'm a little bit hard headed. Now I'm working on it.
same.
I acknowledge it for what it is, and I'm doing better. But he knows I'm hard headed, and it takes me a couple of times to learn.
Mm,
But once I know it, and the thing that is, yes, you can have guilt, but when your boundaries and your when your boundaries are framed in in the right light under God, and you will have a peace that passes all understanding.
yes, that.
I It hurts me that I have peace because my mom is no longer part of my life.
Yeah.
I wish I wish this was not the case. It hurts me
Hmm.
that I have
It.
peace.
Yeah.
I don't
Same.
want it to be. And also, I have to protect my peace.
Hmm. You do.
Hmm?
Yep.
I have to guard my heart. I have to spend my mental and spiritual energy. We are not just stewards of money, we are stewards of our time, our talent, and our treasure. And if I was continuing to give all of that to her, what do I have left for the hurting and the broken? If I'm wrapped up in my dad and the hurt that my dad, from a lack of being there, because he felt like that was the best choice, because he was made to feel like he was a bad person and that everyone was better off without him. True story. If I consistently just stay in that hurt, what part of me is stunted growth? What part of me, what part of the kingdom of God, what part of my children is now lacking
Yeah.
because I'm got my mental and spiritual energy
Mhm.
in a wound.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, when you get tattoos or piercings, or um, when you get a gash, right, and it scabs over, right? What's the first thing you want to do? We want to
Itches.
pick it.
Mhm.
You're just, and we're ripping the scab off. We're ripping the scab off, and you know what? You know what's doing that? It is not healing.
Yeah.
It's not healing. I'm consistently opening a wound
Mhm.
because
Traumatizing it.
it's uncomfortable.
Yep.
Because I just, I'm, I'm not even, I'm unconsciously picking at it. It's not even the forefront of my brain, but it's constantly running in the back. That hurt is constantly running in the back. Well, I'm this way because they weren't there. I'm this way because they did this to me. They said this to me.
Mhm.
That was 30 years ago, bro.
Seriously. Seriously. And that's where the forgiveness comes in. You've got to let it go. You've got to give it to God. You literally, and if you think, the one thing that I really had that helped me a lot is like, I'm an overthinker. I'm an overthinker. My brain just will not stop. And newly medicated for that, but also prior to the medication, every time I started thinking about something, I'm like, God, please help me not think about this. Please help me heal from this. Please, Lord, take this from me every time. And eventually I stopped thinking about it. Eventually I was able to move past it. Eventually, when those people's names came up, when those people did not kind things to me or towards me, it didn't bother me anymore because I know the truth. God knows the truth. And when God knows the truth, it doesn't matter. I don't care what anyone else thinks about me. I don't care that you think I'm not doing right. I don't care if you think I'm not making the best choices. God God is guiding me, or at least I am trying my hardest to make sure that I am following God's path for me and praying on it every single day, that it doesn't matter what they think anymore. It doesn't. It doesn't matter if your mother-in-law is mad at you. It doesn't matter if your sister, brother, uncle, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. And I think that's what's given me the most healing.
You're finally okay
Yeah.
with being the villain in the story. It's okay.
Yeah. It
I'm okay
is.
with being the villain.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be the villain one way or another.
Mhm.
So why don't I protect my peace
Mhm.
the best way I can? And you know what? If there comes a different chance of just different option later, right now these are my options.
Yep.
And I'm doing the best as I can. And I'm going to fail.
Mhm.
And I'm going to traumatize my kids one way or another.
Yep.
Whether it's, God, I hope I'm making the right discipline choices, or screaming vanilla ice, while I'm going down the road and embarrassing the fire out of them in front of their friends.
Yep.
I'm going to traumatize them one way or another, not intentionally, but I'm doing the best that I can, and I know I'm still going to fail because I'm
Mhm.
human and I'm still
Yep.
growing.
Yep.
At 80 years old, we're still learning and growing.
Yeah. And that giving ourselves that grace is what we all need, that we all need to understand. Is we got to give ourselves grace. We have to. We're all doing this for the
And
first time.
grace is for growing.
Mhm.
That's what we call it in the house because say grace is for growing.
Mhm. I like
Grace
that.
is for growing.
Yeah.
And so grace is for growing, and mercy is for is for what we don't know.
Yes.
So we have mercy and grace,
Yep.
mercy and grace.
Yep. We got to
And
extend
so
it.
I think that is like the first steps is again stop focusing on them. Yes, they hurt you. That's undeniable.
Mhm.
But focus on your relationship with God
Yep.
and anchor yourself there first.
Yep.
Maybe go to some therapy and process some of the feelings and maybe some of the things. Maybe you have some bigger traumas. Process those. Um, realize what you are willing to accept.
Yep.
We're you can even write it down. Like, and if you're having trouble, again, if it was your kid, what would you tell them?
Mhm.
A lot of times we tell our kids, "Oh, just ignore them," but you won't do that because your mom's calling you ugly names.
Yep. And there's devotionals that you can get into because I know last year I was going through it with something and I was like, I read this toxic family devotional. It's like a 7-day devotional. I read it in one night. I was like, God, I need you to speak to me right now because I am not well and I am PO'd. Like, and there are resources out there for us. And that one specifically was on the Bible app. The Bible app has free ones and they're so, so good and have helped me. I've done several of them. Yeah.
It's refocusing your attention.
Mhm.
Refocusing in your attention of God first,
Yep.
um, and your resolve will come.
Yeah.
Accepting your responsibility for healing
Mhm.
and accepting accountability for what you have enabled
Mhm.
and your actions. Again, we're looking at self first,
Yep.
right? And we're not judging anybody else. We are judging ourselves. We're saying, God, look in my heart, look in my soul. And again, establishing that relationship with God.
Mhm.
Maybe you can't look at him as a father, and that's okay. He's many things. A
Yeah.
friend. That's how I had to start off with, because men were dumb. And then accepting the people in your life for exactly who they're showing you to be, not placing the expectations based on their potential.
Yeah. Yeah.
Accepting them, a
Or
spade is a spade.
or what you think they should be.
Yeah, that expectation.
Mhm.
Yep, taking the expectation back and going, okay, what are you showing me?
Yep.
Who are you showing me you are? And say, oh, well, okay then.
Yeah.
Okay, that is, you know what? I am who I am. Exactly, you are exactly who you are.
And you can be what you want to be whenever you want to be it. Yep.
No one else has a problem with me. Great.
Yep.
I love that for you.
Yep.
Awesome. And also, you're kind of a jerk to me.
Yeah. They're not very nice.
And also, I bet you don't treat him the way you treat me. But
That part.
uh, behind closed doors, it's a whole different story.
That
Um,
part. Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating sometimes. Sorry.
and that's the thing is like again, my parent that I'm knows that I'm estranged from, man, she was awesome to everybody else, and
Mhm.
she'd come home and beat us.
Yeah. Yeah.
The kid that cussed you out in Sunday school, threw things at you, and you gave him a hug and like some breakfast,
Some grace.
and like took him home, gave him a new bike, and apparently I breathed wrong,
Yeah.
and now I'm being beat.
Make it make sense. Lord heal them, please.
Nothing, nothing. So again, I can forgive for the past, but
Mhm.
there was no growth.
Yeah.
I had to protect who I am now, and I had to protect my kids. And that's again reframing, like, okay, this is not okay, this is not good, but I don't know how to say no.
Yep.
Oh, that's a great realization, and I'm proud of you. I don't know how to say no. It hurts to say no. I
Mhm.
want them to be happy for me. I want them to be proud of me. Where is that line? Where's that bar?
Mhm.
Are they only happy with you when you're doing exactly what they want? Are they only reaching out when they need something from you? Are and listen, if you're okay with that, I'm happy for you. That's great. If that's a relationship that you're accepting and that's okay with you, that's great. Then you don't have a problem.
Mhm.
But if you see that is causing internal turmoil and it's causing you mental anguish and it's keeping you up at night, trying to think of all the ways that you have to anticipate to keep them stable.
Yep.
Once I reach a finish line
It's
with your
not
kids,
our job.
No, it's not our job. That's when you, again, what am I okay with? What do I want? What are they capable of?
Yeah.
It hurts to recognize that your parent is not capable of loving you the way you love your children.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it hurts. It hurts even more now because I'm like, why was that okay?
Mhm.
It wasn't. And it sucks. And you know what? That's okay.
Yep. Yep.
It is what it is. It was what it was, and we can't change it, but I can reframe it
Yep.
in my mind. And I can say, you know what? Again, she did the best that she could with what she knew. Doesn't mean it was okay.
Yeah.
It still hurt.
Yep.
And then, when you're about ready to set those boundaries, are you willing to be the villain in the story?
Yep.
Once you're okay, once you are truly okay, listen, whatever happens, I'm really okay with it. This is the worst that could probably happen. Is it gonna hurt? Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Are you gonna feel guilt? Yes. And then you work through the guilt.
Yeah.
You
And you
work
work
through
through it
it.
with God. You work through it with God.
Absolutely.
And it's
And
so
that's the only
much.
way.
And like you said, it has to start there before you can get the other place. You're going to be able to deal with that guilt because you have a relationship with God. You're going to be able to deal with being the villain because you have that relationship with God. You're going to be able to do this because God is going to get you through that. We cannot get ourselves through this. We cannot. I could not, So that that's why it is so
I'm gonna
important.
say
Yeah.
something that's probably gonna hurt. I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna hurt a little bit. If your world is revolving around walking on eggshells due to a friend, due to a family member, you need to ask yourself, is your world truly Christ centered? Or have you allowed that person, that family member, that friend to become an idol because you're spending more time trying to figure out how to navigate around their feelings and
Ooh.
around their thoughts and around their actions, around how they might react. You spend more time thinking about how to navigate that than you do your relationship with Christ.
Yeah. That's good. That's real good.
I
Mhm.
was there.
Mhm.
I was there. You become free when you recognize it for what it is.
Yep.
Boundaries become easier to put in place when you recognize I'm teaching my kids something.
Mhm.
Sometimes as moms, it's harder to do something for ourselves because it feels self-centered. But if you need to start out with I don't want I don't want my son to date a girl and allow her to talk to her the way my mother talked to me.
Yep. Yep. I don't want
I
these.
don't want him to say, but she loves me.
You can love someone, but That doesn't mean you can accept that behavior. You have to accept that behavior.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because we accept it from Auntie, who can't keep her mouth shut, and we accept it from Cuz, who is ugly, mean,
Mm-hmm.
another person internally.
Yeah.
Uh, that's when we have to say it for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, and then peace comes.
Love you so much. I hope that you really took some stuff from this. I know you're dealing with a lot.
No, you're great. I mean, that really helped us kind of navigate through, what we needed to talk about.
Yeah.
Um, and it is hard. And if you want to talk about it one on one, I think you might have my number. I'm not really sure. I'm willing to talk with you. And there is
Hmm.
absolutely no judgment here.
No, none at
Whatever you
all.
decide, I support you.
Yes.
Whatever you decide, I support you.
Yes, friend. We are always here for you to reach out to. Always here. Always here.
Absolutely. I'm not saying I'm not going to talk to my mom, forever.
Hmm.
I feel like if there, I'm always open to, if I don't foresee it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but if the Lord ever worked a way, I'm not going to say no to God.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. I think that is also something too to take from this is if you can, if it's in God's will and these people are doing the things that they need to do to be better and change their behaviors and change their and have that healing in them. That's what they're healing in them. I would be so happy to have these relationships back. I want my sisters in my life, like I want my family close to me. I that's if anyone knows anything about me growing up, my family was my number one. Always, always, always. And and my people are like this to me. And not having those people in my life anymore freaking sucks. But it doesn't at the same time, and I hate to say that, like you said, like finding that peace, like it is better. It is better. It is better. It's better.
Oh, I hope that it's better.
Mhm.
I wish it was so. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think everyone longs for a mother and a father. I
Mhm.
think we all do.
Yeah.
It's ingrained in us because those we want those safe guiding people.
Mhm.
The reality is that sometimes the people that are supposed to be safe aren't safe.
Yeah.
And we have to call it for what it is. We have to identify it for what it is. And again, am I willing? Is it worth it?
Mhm.
Not to say that them as person people aren't worth it.
Yeah. Comment
Um,
kind of led me. She said, my husband doesn't want to distance since they aren't saved. He worries they won't learn about God. And what I was just about to say is, girl, we got to pray for them. We got to pray for them. We pray that they find God. We pray that He finds them. He encounters them, however, to help save them. I pray that my people are happy. I pray that they find the healing that they need. I pray that they find Jesus and find that relationship. I pray it almost every single day. Like, you know?
so I wanna pose this question. What if you holding your boundary leads them to Christ? Did you know that Jesus could not minister in his own city? Because they couldn't receive it from him.
Yep. Oh, the carpenter's son? The carpenter's son thinks he's Messiah?
Exactly. And even if they said, "Oh yeah, he's the Messiah," they could not respect him or have faith in him to the level needed for those miracles to happen. And I'm not saying you completely cut off, but sometimes that distance shows again, hey, you're in the wrong and I'm not I I don't want to take that.
Yeah.
You know, I and maybe that space allows God and I pray this for I pray this for myself. God, bring someone in their life they can receive from,
Oh. Oh.
even if it's not me.
Yes. That's good.
Even if it's not me, I accept that they cannot receive the word from me.
Hmm.
I also need to protect my peace and my sanity. So, God, do what only you can do and bring someone to witness to them that they can receive from. Show yourself to be strong. Do what I cannot do.
Yes. Yes, that's so good, Kayla.
And what if that distance brings them to Christ, brings you and your husband closer together?
And unfortunately, that is not his responsibility or your responsibility. That's why you got to
Hey, you, I had to tell my dad this the other day. I said, hey, Dad, I'm the kid.
Yep.
I'm the kid. I don't care if I'm 37 years old. You are still older than me, and you should know better than me.
Mhm.
And I will always be the kid.
Yeah.
I will always be the kid.
Yep.
You're the kid. And one could hope that they would receive from you guys, but if they haven't received yet, maybe it's not. Maybe that's what we wish. Oh man, I wish that I wish that my parent would change for me. I wish that they would just listen to me. I wish and I pray that they the reality is they're not.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Because
Yeah.
guess what? I'm the kid. Jesus was the kid in
Hmm.
Jerusalem. He will always be the kid. I will always be the kid.
Yep.
And that guilt, and I'm not trying to be rude. If I'm feeling guilt, that's a me issue. There we go. I'm gonna say it that way. Me and my husband were talking about this yesterday. He apologized for something, and I was like, "What?" He said, "It was I'm sorry," and I was like, "For what?" He said, "Well, I kind of felt convicted." I was like, "Did you feel convicted or did you feel guilty?" I said, "Either way, that's a you issue."
That's me. My husband's like, "Why are you apologizing to me?" I just feel
Yeah,
bad.
I legitimately, I was like, I was in the bathtub, like in my Epsom saltness, getting my bath on, just kind of chilling like a villain. And he comes in and he's like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "For what?"
Yeah.
Well, then I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds like guilt is a you problem.
Hmm.
Well, I feel, okay, I feel that's you.
Hmm.
And and that's not meant to be rude at all. It's just it's recognizing that that guilt. We tell our kids this when we're trying to teach them to apologize. That people who hurt you, or what was it? No, no, not apology. That people that hurt you, you let them live rent free in their head, and they've gone on to the next thing
Hmm.
because now it's a you issue.
Yep.
They hurt us, they're moving on. So what I do with it is what I do with it. They don't care.
No.
They're not even thinking about it. So Billy comes in saying, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, "For what, bro? I didn't even take it that way. It wasn't even personal." But he took it personal. I was like, "Well, that sounds like that's something that you need to work through. That's great. We recognized it. Work through the guilt. I don't. I forgive you for whatever, but you need to work through it." And
Hmm.
if whatever it is, if it is a true conviction, then conviction causes change. True conviction ignites change.
Yep.
It may not be like immediate, like, go out and dye my hair purple. Even that's a process. It's a process, but it ignites the fire for change. Guilt is just shame with a
Hmm.
robe on.
Yep.
And that's something that again you can work through. Okay, I'm gonna put out I'm gonna be little vulnerable. One of the reasons why I didn't um, one of the reasons why I continued the relationship with my mother for so long. Um, Even after I knew what she was and what she was doing and that it was not going to change, because I was afraid she was going to unalive herself. I was afraid that she was going to, because she had attempted it before, and I was afraid she was going to hurt herself, and that was very real
Mhm.
because again she had attempts before, and I had to get to the place where like that's not my responsibility. That's a lot to put on somebody.
Yes.
A lot of responsibility to put, a lot of heaviness to put on someone to be responsible for their mental health. Allowing them to abuse me made them less mental.
Yeah. That's
I'm the kid. I'm the kid. I'm a whole adult. I'm 37 years old. I've been married for 15 years. I've got two children. I've got a car note. I, I've got I've
got
got
rent to pay.
I got rent to pay. My utility bill was disrespectful.
That grocery bill.
I, I have a whole life that I am responsible for. Okay, if I don't pay the bill or if I don't pay attention to my husband, that's gonna be a problem. But anyone outside of my unit, God's already put in a support system for them. I'm not the only person, and if I am the only person, there's probably a reason for that. And that is too much to put on anybody. On anybody. I have best friends. I have Sarah's on. She's in bed. She's in Georgia. She's but she got to get real early. She got two kiddos of her own, and it is not okay to put her in as my only lifeline.
Yep.
Do you want to know why you're probably the only person in that person's life? Is because you allow them to be disrespectful. And then I'm not saying like I'm not saying that you're I'm not getting on to you. I'm not getting on anybody. I don't want you ever I want no one to no judgment here. I still do the same thing until I recognize it for what it is. But you're an adult and you have the power to say no.
Yep.
And you have the power to speak the truth in love to your husband.
Mhm.
That's so key with that spouse. Speak the truth in love and recognize that they're hurting too.
Yeah.
And their actions are communication. Just like the people that are hurting us, their actions are communication. Listen, I can make all the excuses in the world. The man that hurt me, did you his dad tried to drown him. He was beaten. He did all these other things. He was an addict. Is that any excuse for hurting someone?
Mm-mm.
No.
Nope.
My mom was hurt and abused and neglected, and but is that any excuse? And if we allow it, it's just allowing a generational cycle.
Over and over
The
again.
next generation, what are we teaching them? What are we teaching them with our actions?
Yep.
So I hope this has helped someone. I know it's late. Um, this was really the only time that I had because we had jujitsu and Billy was playing music today, and it's just kind of like I literally have not been home.
I
I
know.
just had Sonic for supper,
I
and
appreciate you, girl,
we had
so
Sonic,
much.
and I appreciate you. I hope that wasn't a ramble. I hope that this has helped
No.
someone. It's definitely. It's not easy, but I think that when, um, and anybody else that's still on, if you're struggling with this and you're struggling with, you've recognized that this is not what you want, but you don't know what you need, pray that God brings good people. Pray that God brings mentors. Pray that God leads you to a podcast of what life could be like. God, I don't have a context for what a wife is. God, I don't have context for what a mother is supposed to be. God, show me. Bring godly women into my life.
Yes.
Bring me bring me spiritual mothers. Bring me godly pastors. Bring my husband and bring me godly men that we can learn from. They're human. Yes, they can fall. Yes, they're fallible. Yes. Also, they can be great examples. We can learn aspects and characteristics, and we can see. It's kind of like going on Zillow and looking at houses, even though you know you're not going to buy one because they're like $1,100, $1,100 million. But we can go and see what we like and what we don't like. So when we are ready, we're like, oh yeah, I saw this. No,
Hmm.
no, we cannot paint the walls seafoam green or teal because we gonna fight.
Yep.
I'm going to lose my marriage over this godforsaken color. And we can learn that from people. God
Hmm.
does have amazing people that He can bring into our life
Yep.
and that we can learn from and have realistic expectations because pastors are human. I am human. We are human.
Hmm.
Also have something to share with each other and give and learn. Will my resolve be perfect for you? No.
No.
Does it have to be? It's my choice. And guess what? I support you with whatever choice you make. My best friend still has a relationship with her very, very toxic mom. And guess what? She knows she's toxic. Her mom knows she's toxic. And guess what? I still answer the phone when she goes to, even though she intentionally goes and visits her mom, knowing that it's going to be the ninth realm of hell.
Yep.
I'm still going to answer the phone when she calls me crying because her mom is mean.
Yep.
And when her mom does something horribly disrespectful to her and her children,
Yep.
I'm still going to answer the phone. Why? Because I love and I support her, and I support her decisions and what's best for her.
Yep. That.
And she does the same for me. And that is what I do. That's what I support you in whatever decision you make. I pray that things grow and people grow and that there can be a peaceful God. We make our own village
Hmm.
and we support each other from afar. Um, and a lot of my friends are from afar because God just knows that the world would absolutely implode if any of me and my friends relatively live close together. Just
Yeah.
Facts.
For real.
so too much awesomeness in one place, right?
Yep.
But I think this was a good conversation, and I hope I absolutely Bree, love you to
Yes.
life.
Love
I
you.
hope you have
Love
a great
you.
night. If y'all have any questions, feel free to. I can't speak for court, but feel free to email me, message me.
Same.
If you have my number, you can text me. Um, I'm an open book, so to speak. I'm here. I'm here to help. I'm here to help with perspective. And again, no judgment. There's absolutely no judgment. Um, I accept you for who you are exactly right now.
Yeah. Oh, I love you. I love you all
You
so
want to close
much.
that door?
Yes. You close us out in prayer, girl. Come on.
I started it. You end it.
You'll be all right. Let me see. Lord, give me the words. Give me the words. Dear Lord, thank you just so much for bringing us together. Thank you so much for connecting us. And I just pray that whoever was meant to hear this was able to hear it and gain something from this, Lord. And just like, thank you. Thank you so much, Lord. I just pray everyone has a beautiful night. And yeah, thank you. Amen. Short, sweet, to the point.